Game time, anytime. That was the concept behind filming this commercial for Gap. Now, Gap is a super easy, light card game. It's extremely portable. You can literally fit in like your pocket and bring it anywhere with you. And that was what I wanted to hone in on for this particular commercial because I wanted to show, not tell. A lot of my past commercials, there's a lot of text, right? Because games are a lot heavier. And I felt like with this game and with this particular concept, it was the perfect time to adapt towards higher end filmmaking. And in terms of that, I meant like more showing, not telling. If anything, I just want to include text on the very end, which is the slogan for today, game time, anytime. Some of my favorite commercials have like no narration and there is no text involved until the very end. And I love that concept because a lot of it kind of just tells in itself. And on top of that, you really have to think about your audience too for what you're showing, not just like for board games, but for like any product in general. So when filming a game like this, it has to be open to all ages, right? Because anyone can pick up this game and play, and it also has the convenience of portability. So with that in mind, I felt like I didn't need to augment the commercial with text. I really wanted to just have the gameplay speak for itself and see what goes on from there. Ultimately, if I had to answer one question for myself today and for all of my videos going forward, is how can I show the gameplay without any text and without any narration? And then I also had to think about like, where would I actually be playing a game like this? So day one is at a local park that I usually shoot at for engagements, and it's a really beautiful park. So when you film outside, especially at a public location, you have to worry about two things. First up is weather. You always have to think about weather, whether it's gonna be windy, rainy, and so forth. So I gotta keep that in mind. Second thing is film permits, especially if you're in a public setting, you gotta make sure you have like commercial permits for wherever you go. So once all those were taken care of and we were clear of that, filming at the park was super easy. This was probably the easiest day for sure because like I said, I like to warm up to the bigger days and the more technical days. But I had Alyssa and Junior join me for a more casual shoot. And the first day was just like, okay, let's go ahead and take the game out of your bag, take it out of your pocket, and we'll go ahead and just play at a bench. So we kept it very, very simple. The gear and everything was very minimal. I used, well, practically like 3 different lenses. You had your 135, your 15 and 35, and your 20 to 70. Those are my 3 lenses of choice that day to get a ton of establishing shots, which are the wide angles, and then focus in on the mechanics. So if I had to really highlight one of my favorite shots from day one, it was actually the match motion shot, what I like to call it at least. And how that works is Alyssa is playing a card, right? Because this is one of the first days where you get to see how the game is played. And ultimately, how Gap is played is you play a card and then 3 different things happen. So I wanted to show those 3 mechanics over time. So every single day of the shoot, we did focus in on those 4 things. 1, playing a card. 2, showing the mechanic where you play a card, you take the matching numbers. 3, you play a card, you take 1 high number and 1 lower number. And then lastly, playing card, and if none of those numbers match, or if you can't take 1 higher and 1 lower, then you'll go ahead and add that card to the middle. So all those shots were what we focused on in every single day of the shoot. And for the park shot, like I said, we had that motion matching shot where Alyssa's playing card and I'm like tilting the camera. So you're kind of following with this tilt angle. That way you get a really nice centered motion on her playing the card across the table. And it was a happy accident, but I loved when she was like, haha, in the commercial shoot too. So I kept her audio in. That was actually her voice. And I felt like it really added to that moment of like silence in the commercial, which was really impactful. Now, aside from the park, we also doubled up and shot in a camping van. Now, obviously, not everyone has a camping van, but I felt like post 2020, being outdoorsy and being in a camping van was super trendy. So I felt like why not incorporate that since we're there. So we did take a couple of shots in the camping van to just show how we can play this game literally anywhere on a table in a camping van if you happen to be an outdoorsy person. So when I shoot on different sets like this, I really want to expand the audience because we want to get more people to play games. And I figured we have never had a moment where we're able to showcase a camping van, and this would be the perfect time for that. Day 2, now we get into our classic lifestyle shoots where we have 4 models at a home. Now, these are all 4 brand new models. I loved meeting every single one of them, and I can't wait to have them on more sets like this. They were all just fantastic, fantastic people. And it's fun too, because when you have a game this easy to teach, then it makes it much easier for newer models to like learn from, because there's a lot of nuances that you have to consider when you're on set and when you're teaching cards, for instance. I'm not saying that they did any of this, but the thing with lifestyle shoots is that they look way oversimplified than they are. For instance, let's say I were to direct you to hold the cards in front of you. You could hold like this, you could hold like this, you could put cards face down. And especially when you have non-gamers, like they aren't as acclimated to the way we have those little nuances and kind of just habits when we're playing games, right? So then I have to like physically show, no, hold cards like right in front of you, that way I can get to the side angle over here and then film this way. And then can you also, since these are holofoil cards, can you like kind of bring it towards you so that way it's not too shiny and overexposed? So there were a ton of those nuances that you don't get to see behind the scenes. Or like play a card in front of you, and like I said, these are all brand new models, so then they don't know like how to stack them like in a row and stuff. And these are little things that I have to teach alongside getting all the lighting down and the camera angles and like the motion shots that you need in order to get those transitions. But overall, they're a super fun group. On a set, you will never hear me say, okay, laugh. Because those moments are all genuine moments. Either I crack a stupid lame joke, or like they're just having fun, engaging with the game, and just genuinely having fun on set. So I never prompt them to laugh. If anything, I'll have like soft poses like smile or look at each other. But other than that, like everything else is just them playing the game naturally. So lifestyle set, that's something that I'm super accustomed to and acclimated to. So that was a pretty smooth day, and we did not run out of time for once on set. Day 3, now I get to be joined by some of my favorite content creators, Monique from Before You Play, and I also had Ruel Gaviola, who fortunately joined me and joined all of us on filming Gap that day. Let me tell you now, I love filming with content creators because they just get it. And I don't really have to direct, like I barely had to say any kind of direction at all that day.
I never do that to throw off the people across the table.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Well, for the photo.
To start, I have a 9. Taking this 9.
What?
This 9. And this 9 here.
All the 9s.
Wow. All the 9.
Obviously, they do the same thing that I do, so they know how to play the game. They know how to work camera angles. They know how to match my OCD without me even saying anything. So working with them, super fun. And I think with this particular set, we wanted to use the different rooms because I did end up booking extra time for a tutorial. So day 3 was focusing more in on like expertise, because you have day 2 where it's like the casual audience, like the families and just casual friends getting together. And day 3, you have like very, I know it's like, it sounds minor, but I wanted to show like experience levels. And then obviously our niche for board games is super small. So I figured it'd be really welcoming and more inviting if you have some faces on screen that you recognize. So those are the differences between day 2 and day 3. Day 2, you have the more casual audience, brand new set of faces. Day 3, you have familiar faces, more experience. And then we also filmed a tutorial, which you can check out right there too, the official tutorial for Gap, and showing you how to play the game, where we switch off teaching how to play Gap. Day 4, now here's the biggest day. So here, I legit had to fight for Hollywood, fight in Hollywood, fight with Hollywood to book an airplane set. I kid you not, I was trying to book the set for like 3 weeks straight. And the particular rules for getting this plane is you have to wait 48 hours in advance because you're ultimately fighting a Hollywood budget, which obviously we don't have, or I don't have. I definitely don't have. They book like days upon days in advance, and if they have cancellations, then they'll open it up to more indie creators like me, where we can have like a 3-hour film slot. So when I managed to get that film slot, so bam, as soon as that slot opened up and I booked it, I just texted a bunch of creators local in the area too, and to LA, and luckily I got Reina, and I also got Amanda Panda, and of course Bonds, and we also had one model too. Her name is Olga, and then we got to use like this actual plane that used to be in the air. They broke it down, and then they pretty much filmed, they pretty much casted the back with all of this LED wiring, and then there's this huge green screen panel in the back. I showed this commercial to several people before they even saw the behind the scenes, or before I even posted anything about a green screen, and they thought that we filmed on an actual airplane too. So I'm glad that it was a selling point to see like, how did you film on a plane? Like I said before, I just love filming with content creators. So obviously Reina and Amanda Panda, they picked, I think Amanda knew how to play the game already, but Reina picked it up in like a heartbeat. And on the day of, they played it through, I think twice. And then we staged a couple of shots where like, I really wanted to get a lot of match cuts. If anything, the main focus I wanted to get for this video, aside from like the figurative pieces, like for the technical pieces, I really wanted a lot of match cuts. So Reina walking, Amanda walking, Olga walking, all of them together, seating into a plane. Obviously, it would have been nice if I had a lot of extras, then I could have had a full plane. But instead, we went with the first ones being loaded onto the plane, which I think worked out pretty nicely because then you get to focus on just this core group of people playing games. So come on, let me show you the set that we got 48 hours ago. So this is a giant green screen set. I'm not sure about the audio in here and everything, but I can hear echo. Look at this. So we have a bunch of gear on the ground. I want to explain, I want to break down the set and what we use for the majority of the things. So we have some empty suitcases / luggage, like carry-on luggage that we can use to put into the carry-on over here. And then this set is pretty much it was a real plane. So this was actually in the air. They broke it down. And what we're doing today is we want to show the portability of this game and how easy it is for you to just play it even on an airplane. So the set itself has its own lighting. It's backlit back there. And then on the bottom, we have Aperture, brand new Aperture MC Pros. This is easily one of my favorite lights right now. I just got it last week just for this specific shoot, and it looks so good because we're putting this to backlight the scene over there, and that way you get a nice blue and teal look to the back. So we stuck it back there, but everything here is pretty functional. It's a little old, but everything's functional. We still have that whole carry-on place that you can put in, and everything's real. So these are just seats that torn from a real airplane, and they took onto this set. And what's really cool too is we also have upgraded our lighting scene. As you can see, I use this as a pointer now. As you can see here with this new lighting screen, this is an 8x8 scrim. It helps to diffuse light, make it look really natural. That's our timer to start cleaning up. And then on the back right here is the Aperture 120D with the light dome 2. This is supposed to help diffuse the light a lot more, so we have a ton of really powerful light going in. And I want to make it as natural as possible. Natural for being an evening airplane look to show on our models for today. And then back here, if you look, so all of this is hardwired engineered, so you actually see some screens. There's some crazy wires that are going on here. In terms of cameras, we use the full kit today. The 135, the 1535, the 28 to 70, the 12 to 108. So we used all lenses today, all of our gimbal shots, because we're ultimately focusing on the three of them playing the game straight through this row, and I want to give myself a lot of creative editing options in the end. So we have a lot of tight, medium, wide. We have a lot of 120 FPS, a lot of 4K, 24. So a lot of shots were done today, and I hope you like it. Last but not least, you kind of see this amplification. It starts off with more casual shoes and it goes up into the plane. And then lastly, day 5, we wanted to go more casual again. And I figured we've already done homes, we've done a camping van, we did the park. And one last place I wanted to shoot at was at the beach. We didn't film on the beach anyway because it was a raining day. Obviously, you're not going to play board games at the beach on a rainy day like that. And I think it worked out anyway because we ended up using a shopping plaza. And of course, when we're filming, the rain clears up and we get a nice sunny day. But either way, I think it works out because I've played point salad at a shopping mall and at a restaurant before. So it just made it very natural for the last shoot to happen just like that. Other than that, those were our 5 days of filming. And here is the final commercial. What do you all think of the commercial? I'm so excited to finally show this to you all. I feel like I've been working on this for quite a while now. I'm posting a lot of BTS on Instagram too. So on that, check out the whole crew. All their socials are linked down below. I hope you enjoyed our commercial on Gap. Had so much fun doing this. Thank you so much to Arc and Wonders for believing in a project like this. And if you made it here to the very end, comment olive oil for how shiny these cards are. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.